So finally, Deontay Wilder came out responding to Jermell Charlo comment, which he stated, and I quote, "Race don't matter," during Deontay Wilder interview on PBC. In response to that, Deontay Wilder had plenty to say. So instead of quoting him, here is what Wilder told Barbershop Conversation.
Race doesn't matter.
Man. That's why I ain't had to come back and say nothing to him. Because the people tore his ass up and they still tearing his ass up. To make a dumb statement like race matter in everything. Single thing that we do. Do he understand how many fighters paved the way for his black ass? How many people died for him to have the chance that he have? Don't think about how many people that got hung, how many babies that got stolen from their parents and fed to crocodiles to get the crocodile skin. But how many people had the education, the mindset, and the smartness to be great, but because of their skin complexion, it allowed them to be in the back of the line? How many people need raises, but they give this other complexion that's starting new already a higher salary than you, and you've been there for 6 years. But race don't matter. You go out to eat or something, they refuse you, but race don't matter. That was the stupidest thing he could have ever said. But hey, the people told, I want everything every time he do something and get denied or anything happen to him, I want him to remember those comments. That comment he gonna have to stick with for the rest of his entire life. And you know how that made black people feel?
Right.
I don't have to say nothing because they on his head.
Yeah, I see it.
And a lot of them, you can't, hey, one thing about the people is too many. You can't get protected by too many, by everybody. Right. You can't get protected everywhere you go. Somebody read your comment or heard about your comment, you gonna have to tuck your tail in like a dog. Right. Stupid. And I'll tell that to his face because they know a real one. See, I'm a real one. I stay back, I sit back, don't say much, let these fools run their mouth, but keep that same energy when you see a king in your presence. That's it. Because I know what I'm capable of doing. I know who I have with me. You know how you be silent warrior? Yeah. So I let the people continue to eat them up, and he dug his own hole. A lot of people, threw one of his shirts in there, burned it up. You know what I'm saying? Some people did that. Some people ain't telling people don't buy the fights, don't buy the paper, and he did it to himself. And he wondered, I'm here because I don't ever keep up with the pound list and stuff, and he wondered why he having a hard time being at the top of people pound for pound list.
Not even on it.
Not even on it. That's crazy. They sit around and, what can man, I'm gonna say something, man. I'm gonna get some brownie points or something like that. So somebody can get on their side. Well, maybe the opposition will get on my side, and cheer me on. Yeah, for that moment in time.
Boom.
And then when that's over, guess what? You just as black as me. Yeah. You back being black. Right. So what you said, it didn't really gain you no points. In the end, it just entertained the ones that want to agree with you at that moment in time. Right. Yeah, he said, yeah, that right, yeah. But when you try to do something, guess what? You try to go somewhere, guess what? You try to get something done, guess what? Look in the mirror. Right. You're a black man yourself. Right. And race does matter.
No, it absolutely
Anything we do, he's stupid. That.
Yeah, that kind of
need to be slapped.
Yeah.
It need to be slapped. Man, I don't know what, like I said, they try to find acceptance. He trying to find acceptance for people that don't even care about him. Right. You know what I'm saying? Nobody care about what he talking about or what he doing. They wish bad up on him. I'm always wishing well for people. I just sit back, I hear things or whatever, I'm the type of person, whatever people do in their life, let them do it. If you happy, you doing what you're doing, hey. But the boy got a lot of issues in his life going on. He don't have no happiness, no peace in his life. You know what I'm saying? And when you don't have peace and happiness in your life, you're going to say crazy shit to try to find acceptance from anybody.
Right.
Because what they say, what they say, if you don't believe in something, you'll fall for anything. Come on, man. But he need to be slapped. That's what he need to be.
To hear more of what Deontay Wilder had to say, check out the full interview. I'm going to leave the link for the full video in the description box below. Indeed, this was a great interview. You guys do not want to miss it. Now, coincidentally, Deontay Wilder brought up some of the main points I mentioned when I made a video on this subject, which I'm going to leave the link for that video in the description box below. See, what Charlo has to realize, he can't go around continue to claim they hate the Charlos because we different. They bias. They hate us because we from a different breed, etc., etc., etc. Well, last time I checked, the Charlo twins are not alien. They humans, but coincidentally, they happen to be black. So when Jermell says they hate the Charlo twins, before he even starts to wonder why, all he has to do is look in the mirror. He don't have to look any further. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the most hated of them all? The answer to the question is who you see in the mirror. And here is the tricky part. It's not specifically the person, but the complexion of the individual. That's what Jermell Charlo fails to realize. The Charlo twins are not the only rare two fighters that's being hated on. It's not a mere coincidence that Muhammad Ali was the most hated person. Not just boxer, but the most hated person in the world. When he was still fighting in the ring and outside of the ring for his people. People like Jermell Charlo. But according to Jermell, race don't matter though. Ladies and gentlemen, apparently Jermell Charlo believes Muhammad Ali fought for nothing. Since race don't matter, Muhammad Ali also threw his Olympic gold medal to the lake for nothing. Not because they refused to serve him at a white restaurant. No. Therefore, with that mindset, that means Jermell believes his own people, his complexion, fought for 400 years to this day for his freedom, but that has nothing to do with race. Apparently, slavery had nothing to do with race as well. At this rate, Jermell Charlo is on a fast campaign to become the vice president if Kanye West ever becomes president. All jokes aside, this is not a mere coincidence that the Charlo twins, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Demetrius Andrade, are all hated the exact same way Floyd Mayweather was hated. It's not a mere coincidence that Deontay Wilder is hated the same way Muhammad Ali was hated, just like Jack Johnson and everyone after him. Do you guys know that Hagler, may he rest in peace, who had what we call today Mexican style? Everyone have so much love and admiration today for Hagler when he's dead. But when he was fighting in his prime, it was the contrary. For the people that don't know, Hagler will be booed coming into the ring and booed even after he gets the knockout. In fact, as a celebration for Hagler victory, he will receive bottles and cans thrown at him, leaving the arena, forcing Hagler to leave the arena before the ring announcer even announced the decision. Now, in all honesty, what does that remind you today? All of the fighters on the coincidental list get booed on their home soil. For a fighter that's not even from here, for a foreign fighter. We witnessed that less than a month ago when Devin Haney fought Linares. Devin fought in his own hometown and he was still booed for Linares, who's not even from here. The same thing happened to Floyd Mayweather, Deontay Wilder, and the list goes on and on and on and on. I mean, I could go on down history lane. I'm gonna need all day to point out these fighters. Now, the fighters may vary, but there's only one thing in common between all of these fighters. These fighters have different styles, from being a matador to being a bull, from Mike Tyson to Larry Holmes, Frazier to Muhammad Ali, Hagler to Sugar Ray Leonard. They also have different personalities, so on and so forth. There's many differences, but only one thing in common, which is their complexion for the neglection, which is what us new media labeled as the coincidentalist. And you best believe it's not a coincidence. Is it a mere coincidence that old media kept saying Floyd Mayweather is too technical, he don't get enough knockouts, ignoring the fact that Floyd moved up 5 or 8 divisions? Then Deontay Wilder bursted on the scene. This brother right here, all he gets is knockouts. He knocks out souls out of their bodies, giving old media exactly what they were asking for. But peep this, they started critiquing Deontay Wilder even before he lost, or to be more proper, before he got cheated, for not being technical. So wait a minute, y'all said Floyd is too technical, but Deontay Wilder is not technical enough? You can't have it both ways. It's either one or the other. But when you're on the coincidental list, you damn if you do, damn if you don't. Since these fighters got the complexion for the neglection. On the other hand, the hopeless fighters, do or don't, they will be praised. Because they got the complexion for the connection to get the ultimate protection. And you sure don't gotta believe me. Believe exactly what you see with your own eyes. As you all see on the screen, they erased Lomachenko loss. They erased Tyson Fury history of cheating. They raised Cambuterol for Canelo so he could cheat legally and be able to fight. They even created NBF Witness Protection Franchise, No Black Fighters Witness Protection Organization. And Jermell is too busy talking about race don't matter, defending Canelo while dissing his own brother and even dissing himself. Imagine that. Jermell was dissing Oscar De La Hoya for praising him and calling out Canelo for avoiding him. Jermell dissed his own blood, his other half, Jermall. In fact, they dissed each other in order to protect Canelo. That's a darn shame. Which, this is what Wilder alluded to. Back in the day, the housemaid loved his master more than he loved himself. Therefore, we do not want to hear any complaining about Jermall being avoided by Canelo. So what? Go fight Andre. Go fight Benavidez. It's not the end of the world. Do what Deontay did. Anthony Joshua avoided Deontay Wilder. He went and fought Ortiz and Tyson Fury. And same for Jermell Charlo. We do not want to hear him complain about not getting his just due, his credit, since he is a top 10 pound for pound, so on and so forth. Nope. If race don't matter, then you just not that good of a fighter. Accept your own reality. Since you want to fit in where you not wanted. Yeah, they're gonna like what you said, but that don't mean they like you. Matter of fact, the video I dropped on this subject, would you guys believe the same people that was co-signing and defending Jermell Charlo for the comment he made on race don't matter were the same people that was stating and claiming that Jermell Charlo is not that good of a fighter. He's not a top 10, and that's the truth. So again, they not laughing with you, they laughing at you. Imagine being the butt of the joke with the facts being laid out. After seeing Deontay Wilder get cheated in front of the whole world, the moment old media started defending Tyson Fury blind, and even people in the boxing industry, everyone started to play the Stevie Wonder game. I don't know nothing, I don't see nothing. Even though they are blessed with having a vision in 2020, they rather wonder instead, since their emotion is blocking their vision from seeing the truth. Nevertheless, it's fair to say that there is nothing more surprising than seeing people live in denial after I put the whole truth together like puzzle with the Akhi investigation, the Glovegate. And I don't even know which is more shocking to see. Old media boxing agenda or what these fighters say on a day-to-day basis. A lot of these fighters don't see the bigger picture. Old media have turned the so-called pound-for-pound list into the wish list. You see the Charlo twins not being on the top 10. You see Terrence Crawford being removed from the pound-for-pound #1 slot for Canelo Alvarez on ESPN when Terence Crawford was all along above Canelo Alvarez on the pound-for-pound list, but some way, somehow, Canelo beats Avni Yildirim, a fighter coming off a loss, and surpasses Terence Crawford. Not to mention, Canelo Alvarez also took steroids. Yeah, we're gonna pretend that Canelo never cheated. More so, Claressa Shields was removed from her pound-for-pound #1 throne as old media replaced her with Katie Taylor. This is the GOAT we talking about that had to go to a whole nother sport to spread her dominance. Meanwhile, Ring Magazine, they had Ronda Rousey on the cover of the magazine, even though she never competed in boxing. On the other hand, the GOAT Claressa Shields, who has multiple Ring Magazine belts and went to compete in the MMA, would you believe Claressa Shields have never been on the cover of the Ring Magazine till this day? But according to Jermell, that has nothing to do with race though. With that being stated, I already made a video on that, which I'm gonna leave it in the comment section below. I already went in depth on that whole subject. So drop your thoughts in the comment section below, subscribe below, and click on the notification bell to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, Akhi, TV. Peace, and I'm on to the next one.